So now let's deploy our amazing project, right? And let's discuss how things will work on production side. Now what I have done, I have cut my client project and I have pasted my client folder inside my server folder. Okay, make sure you do that as well, right? Now right now, on the development side there are two servers. One is React server and one is Node.js server. But in production side we will have only Node.js server. There will be no React server, right? Why is that the case? Because if you'll open client folder, here you can find this package.js, and here you can see we have some script, that is build script. Now if you want to convert your React code into regular HTML, CSS, JavaScript, then you need to build that, right? And you can deploy your build code, right? The code you get after build. Let's try that. Okay, so what I will do here, inside this client I will type npm run build, right? Now if I do this will create a build folder for us. Now if here you can see we have this build folder generated, and inside this build folder we have static files, that is HTML, CSS, and we have this index.html as well. Okay, so now we can make use of this all the files and we can just deploy these all the files, right? But this is not just a front-end project. This is a full stack project, so we need to deploy our code, our server code as well, right? Okay, so let me discuss some of more scenario. Now there can be two scenario of deploying, right? One is we can deploy all the server code and just the build folder, right? And this will work, right? This will work for sure. This is the scenario number one. You can do that. You can just deploy this build and you can ignore this public source and whatever you have in this client, and you can deploy the server code, app.js and routes and all those. This is the option number one which you can make use of, right? And the second option is we will be deploying our project to Heroku. So what we can do, we can tell Heroku, hey Heroku, first you need to build the React project, and then you will get this build folder and serve this build folder, right? So these are the two options which we can make use of. One is we can just deploy this build and all these server files, or second option is we can deploy our entire client folder and server code, and we can tell Heroku that hey Heroku, you need to generate build first, right? Yeah, so there are two options. Okay, now there is now the problem with the first option is that whenever you make a change to this your app.js or let's say CSS, then you need to generate a fresh build, right? So this is the only problem with the first approach, right? And in the first approach we are breaking the convention. If you will go to this Git Ignore, here you can see we should not publish our build file, right? So we are breaking convention, but it's not issue, right? We can just remove this and we can just publish this build folder and server code. It will not create any security issue, right? Yeah, so I'll control that, but we are breaking convention, right? Okay, so I will go with the second option. I will tell Heroku and I will post all the files and I will tell Heroku, hey Heroku, build first, type the build command in this client directory, right? Okay, now let's discuss some more scenario, right? Now let's go to this app.js. First of all, we cannot make this port static, right? Instead Heroku will automatically choose the port number which is available, right? So here we need to write process process.env dot port in capital, and here you can put or. Yeah, either select this or this. So this 5000 port will work on the development side and Heroku will choose whatever port number by itself, right? Yeah, okay, so this is the first thing. And now I will write some of the code and then I'll explain you what the hell I'm writing, right? Because it's a little bit difficult to understand for the first time. If process process dot env and dot node underscore env equal to production. If we are on the production side, That means if a application has deployed, then do some stuff, right? What we need to do, first of all, here we will be using app.use, and we want to serve the static files. Express.static. Static files means our JavaScript and CSS file, right? So after generating build, we will have inside this client, we will have client client, we will have build folder, and we want to serve the static file present in this build folder. That is these all the files, right? These HTML, CSS, and all other files. Okay, so we need to serve that as well, right? Okay, on the production side, right? And now here I'll be importing one of the module, that is path, path, and here I can use require, not this, require path. Let me write the code and then I'll explain you, right? So app.get and star, and in here let me write code and then I'll explain you. Send file clint. Okay, now let me explain you what the hell I have written in here, right? What the hell is this code? Now if we are on to the production side, that means if our application is deployed, first we want to serve the static file, that is HTML and CSS, which is inside this build folder, and we have required this path module. Now and now what is this? Now if client will be making any request, we will send the index.html file that is present in this build folder, this one, because it contains our entire React application. Index.html contains entire application. Now if client will be making any request to, let's say, slash profile, or let's say slash users or something like that, so we will send, in every case we will send this index.html, right, which contain all the React code. Now let's say if client want to access the profile, let's assume this is the scenario. Now client will be making request to this. Now this will fire and this will send the index.html. Now we have written the logic on the React.js side. If the route is profile, then we need to show the profile component. That logic is written on the React.js side, but on the server side we want to write this condition. If client will be making any request, we want to just send HTML, right? Now in this index.html, the logic has written what component to show for what route, right? Yeah, so this is what we are doing, right? Okay, so now I'll be making in here one folder. I'll call this at config. Now in this config folder, I will move these keys inside this config folder. Now here I'll be getting one more file, that is prod.js, right? And I'll get one more file, that is dev.js, and I will copy the keys in here, Control C, and I will put these in dev. So this dev is for development side, right? It contains the sensitive data, and in this production side, it will contain production side keys. So for now I can go and I can copy in here, Control C, and I can put the code in here, and instead of this URL we will create this URL, or we will create an environment variable on Heroku, right? And we'll paste the URL in environment variable, right? I'll show you in just a second. Here we need to write process.env. Let's say I will give it a name of, let's say, Mongo URI. Now this URL we will create this Mongo URI on Heroku, right? In the environment variables or Heroku. Then the URL will be fetched from the environment variables of Heroku, and we will not push this dev.js to the Heroku, right? So it's good practice to create environment variables for sensitive data, right? Yeah. Okay. process.env, and maybe I can give it jwt SEC. Okay. Yeah. And here I will open this keys and I will get rid of this, and here I can write if process process dot env dot node underscore env, yeah, if that is PRODUCTIO, and if we are on the production side, then we will module dot export equal to require prod, right? Else we will export, Control C, we will export development keys dev, like so. Okay, so if we are onto production side, we will export this production file. If we are onto the development side, we will export this dev file. This is simple logic. Now we will save all these files. Now we will search for wherever we have used keys. We need to update that. Let's see where we have used keys. So we have used keys in here. Okay, so it has automatically updated, I guess. Yeah. Oh, so this path has automatically been updated if I just moved. Let's search. Yeah, where we have used keys. Let's see where we have used keys. So we have used keys in this as well. So the path has automatically been updated for us. If the path has not updated for you, then you should change the path, right? Okay. Yeah, the path has automatically been updated for us. Okay. So no changes required, right? Okay. Yep. So now let's go again to app.js. Okay. Not app.js. We have finished this, right? How things will work on production side. We have made a code dynamic. Now we need to tell Heroku, hey Heroku, you need to build. You need to type this script. You need to first build your React project, and then you should serve this index.html, or then only you will get this index.html, right? Okay, so first we need to tell to that Heroku. So come in this package.json of the server. Now let me write first, and then I'll explain you what the hell I'm writing. So maybe inside this script I can get rid of this. The first script I will be typing is start. I'll get rid of this, that is start. So we need to write this start script, right? Because Heroku will search for this start script to run our project, right? So here, to run our project, we need to type node app.js, like so. That's it. Here in this main, I can write app.js. Okay. So this script is required, right? If we are deploying it on Heroku, right? And we need one more script, that is heroku dash post build post build. Okay. Now let me write the first, and then I'll explain you, right? npm config npm config production production production, and this will be false, oh, not in capitals, false, and then put a space and npm install npm install dash prefix prefix client client. Okay, and end. Let me close this, and end npm run build dash prefix prefix dash prefix client. Okay, so what the hell this script is doing for us? Okay, so let me explain you. So we are telling Heroku, hey Heroku, first you need to type this build command in client folder. So how we can tell to type this command in client folder, for that we need to add this prefix, dash dash prefix. Yeah, why we are getting here error? Trailing comma. Maybe I don't need this comma. Yep, okay. So I'm telling Heroku, hey Heroku, you want to first build the React project and you want to type this command in your client folder, and that is why we are writing prefix in here, right? To run this command in client folder. Okay. Now in order to generate build, we need to first install the dependencies. These all dependencies. If we go to in client.js, if we go to this package.js, we have these dependencies, right? Where are, so we have these dependencies, React Router, DOM, React Script. So we need to install that dependencies before creating the build file, right? So in order to install the dependencies, we need to type just npm install, and again we need to type this npm install in this client folder, and that is why we are writing prefix in here. Now this is something which we are writing here. Now this line of code will make sure that this command, this command will run on the production side, right? So as this will not run on the production side if we will not use this line of code, right? If we will not use this line of code, then this command will not work on the production side, right? So we want to run this instruction on the production side. That is where we have written this line of code, npm config / production false. Okay, yeah. So I think we are done with this code and logic. I think now we are ready to test. Now one thing which I want to point out here, now in this package.json of the client, where is that? Okay, here you don't need to add a proxy, right? Proxy, because this time both our React and both our Heroku app will be on the same domain, right? So we are sending requests from the same domain to same domain, right? So we are sending a request from React to Node.js, but this time they both are on same server, so we don't need this proxy, and there will be no CORS error, that is cross origin resource sharing error, because now we don't have two different domains. Now we have only just one domain where our React and both the server file are running. So we will not get any proxy, or we will not get any CORS error, because CORS error only occurs when we are making requests from two different domains. When we are making requests from one domain to two different domain. Now let's assume that if you have deployed a server somewhere else, and if you are deploying your React somewhere else, in that case you will get the CORS error, right? Then in that case you should remove proxy and you should install CORS middleware, right, to get rid of CORS error. But we will not be doing this. We will be deploying the client folder and the server file on the same domain, that is on Heroku, right? Okay, so let's now deploy that. Now let's create project on Heroku. So I have already logged into my account. Now you can log into your account, or you can sign up if you don't have your account. Okay, so I'll create a new app in here. Let's give the name of insta clone 55 maybe. Okay, and let's click on this create app, and now all we need to do is follow instructions. So we will be making use of Heroku CLI. So if this Heroku CLI is not installed in your system, then you can install it first, but I have already installed that, so I don't need to install it, Heroku CLI. So now I can log into my account. Now before doing anything, you will go to this client and you can delete this .git. So you first need to delete this, right? So delete this. Okay, yeah. Okay, so now let's open the terminal in this server, and I can type git. First I need to log in, so I'll type heroku login. So it says that open up on your browser, press any key to open up on the browser. So let's press any key and it is opening up. Let's click on this login. Close. You can close this page and return to your CLI. Let's close this page and let's have a look on CLI. Okay, logged in. Okay, so now first we need to initialize git. So git, now before doing anything, in here we need to create a git ignore right? So I have already created Git Ignore, and I have put this dev.js and this node modules all, because I don't want to push this development side keys and this node modules folder. So I have written these two files in the Git Ignore. And if you'll open this client now we have created this React project using create React app, right? Now create React, what create React app does, it automatically creates this Git Ignore, and we don't need to do anything on the client side. Okay, yeah. So now make sure you delete .git present in the client, right? Okay, now we can initialize with git init. If we will initialize this, and if you will have a look, then you can see the color of node modules changes and the color of dev dot changes. If you will go to client, then the color of these file changes, which are not going to be pushed, right? Okay, so yeah, now we can add the files, right? So I can type git add dot all the file except what is mentioned in Git Ignore. Okay, so everything is added, I guess. Now I can copy this command, Control C, and I can paste it in here, and I will hit enter, and I will copy this commit, so then I can commit after adding. Okay, so yeah, everything is fine in here. Here you can see our dev.js is not mentioned, only these two files are being pushed. Okay, and yeah, it's fine, everything is fine. So now finally we can push, Control C, and I can push all the files on Heroku. My bad. Control C and right click, hit enter. Right, now let's wait for a few seconds and let this command finish. It will do some stuff in here, right? And I think it's done. Now before going to this URL, we haven't created environment variables, right? So I will go to the settings maybe, and yeah, in here we need to create environment variables, right? So I'll go to in here in our config and dev, or maybe in prod, and I will copy this name, control C, and I will put in here, and the value of this will be this, Control C, Control V. Okay, and add. Okay, now one more thing, that is JWT secret, and let me see the spelling are correct, right? Process.env. Okay, now this can be a random value, so I can put random text in here, right? Okay, add. Okay, so I think now we are ready to test this out, and here you can see we can click on this, and let's see if our application is running successfully or not. Now it is, I think, yeah, it worked, right? Now if you are doing this and you are getting any error, then you can know the what error you are getting by typing heroku heroku logs. If you are getting any error, right, so you can type this heroku logs to know what the error is, then you can solve that error, right? Maybe the database connectivity is not established, so in here you will get the error, right? Whatever the error will be. But I think we haven't got any error. Maybe let's try. So I will sign up, or maybe I can sign in because I have already created. So let's sign up with Ramesh @rameshramesh.com and password 1234, login, and yep, everything is working as it was working. I can see the profile of Mukesh, beautiful. I can see the profile, right? Ramesh, it has one post. I can see my following post. Okay, it's beautiful, everything is working as I can create post, I can log out. Okay, so everything is working beautiful, right? Okay, so we have successfully deployed our project, right? Okay, So I think this is it for this video. So we'll see you guys. I will see you guys maybe in the next video.